Alright guys, so I got asked to do question 4 from the mock paper. So I'll give that a go, and it's basically a calculus and functions question. And it's a little bit difficult, but hopefully it won't be too bad. Now I'm not too concerned about the second part here, but first part here and part B here are important. So it says find the coordinates to the point where the graph f cuts the y-axis, and it gives us this function here. We don't really care about all this stuff here, we just care about the x cubed minus 9x squared plus 15x plus 2. So remember, an x and a y-axis, there. If something cuts the y-axis, so if something cuts along here, so it's crossing the y-axis, x is equal to 0. Same if something crosses the x-axis, y is equal to 0. So what we're going to do here is, it's cutting the y-axis, so we're going to write down x is equal to 0. Cuts the y-axis, x is equal to 0. And we're going to sub in 0 for all x's here. So it's going to be, instead of x cubed, it's going to be 0 cubed. Minus 9 times 0 squared. Plus 15 times 0 plus 2. Put that into your calculator. Well, they're all zeros, so they're going to go away. So your final answer there is 2. So what you're going to have there is basically when x is equal to 0, y is equal to 2. And that's your point. From 0, 2. If you just put down 2 there, that's enough to get you full marks. Verify that the graph f cuts the x-axis between x is equal to 2 and x is equal to 2.5. Never seen this question before in a legal search paper, so I'm not worried about it. Verify comes up a bit. Verify means just sub in. So that's the important thing. All this stuff here between these 2 points and explain your answer has never come before like that, but verify comes up quite a bit. And verify means that whatever value they give us here, we just sub them in to this here. So we're just going to sub them in. So we know that it's x cubed minus 9x squared plus 15x plus 2. So remember, this bit happens loads where you have to sub back in, but explaining the answer for this is not something that we're particularly worried about. So it has x equal to 2 and x equal to 2.5. So I'm going to put in 2 cubed minus 9 times 2 squared plus 15 times 2 plus 2. And that's going to give us an answer of 4. And then I'm going to put 2.5 cubed in, minus 9 times 2.5 squared plus 15 times 2.5 plus 2. And that's going to give us an answer of minus 1.125. Now, how do we know that it cuts the x-axis between these 2 points? If that's a positive number and that's a negative number. So if you're to graph it, that would be on this side, this is my x-axis here, my y-axis here. This number will be on this side because it's positive, this number over here on this side because it's negative, so it has to cross the axis. But we're not too worried about that, we're just worried about subbing it in to verify. So verify always means sub it in. Gonna have a look at this one now, the local max and min. This is important. So this is important. So get rid of those. Probably best to take some screenshots of those, sorry, if you're stuck, or you can take them down. And what we're going to look at now is we're going to look at this bit here. So let me just scroll it up a little bit. So find the derivative. So we're differentiating and figure out if it's a local max or a local min. So something that does come up quite a bit and takes a little bit of, it's kind of long, takes a little bit of effort, but hopefully you'll get most of our marks on it. So to begin with, everyone can do the next bit. So the original equation was x cubed, or function was x cubed plus 9x squared, or sorry, minus 9x squared it was, plus 15x plus 2. So plus 15x plus 2. We're going to get f dash x. So f dash x of dash. Bring your 3 down and you're left with x squared. Bring your 2 down, you're left with minus 18 times x to the 1. Plus, get rid of your x, plus 15, and your 2 goes away. So that bit there is your derivative, very important. Right? So that's your derivative there. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to factorize this and solve. So this is called a turning point. So you make it equal to 0. I'm not too sure if you remember that. So I'm going to have my 3x squared minus 18x plus 15. So 3 goes into all of those. So I'm just going to divide across by 3. We did a bit of this not too long ago. That's x squared minus 6x plus 5. Everything's divided across by 3. So x cubed, x squared, 6, 5. Then I'm going to take 5. I'm going to find my factors of 5. Well, the only way to make 5 is 5 times 1. And that will give us a minus 6. So I can write x minus 5, x minus 1. Minus 5 minus 1 gives me minus 6. So I'm going to take them separately. I'm going to write x minus 5 is equal to 0. So when I bring my x across, x is equal to 5. That's my first value. X minus 1 is equal to 0. Bring my 1 across, x is equal to 1. Now, I found my x values. I need to find my y values. And all I do there is I take this and I sub it back in to the original equation now. So the original equation. And I take this and I sub it back into the original equation. So I'm going to sub in x is equal to 5. So I'm going to do 5 cubed minus 9 times 5 squared plus 15 times 5 plus 2. And when I do that, I get minus 23. That's equal to minus 23. So that's my first thing. Sub in x is equal to 5. Then I sub in x is equal to 1, because I got x equal to 1 there. And when I sub in x equal to 1, I get 1 cubed minus 9 times 1 squared plus 15 times 1 plus 2. And that gives me 9. So I have two values now. I have x is equal to minus 23, x equal to 9. Right? And remember, this is smaller than this, so 9 is bigger than minus 23. So this is my max value, and this is my mean value. I'm not going to do the final part. The final part is just graphing, so you should be able to figure that one out. Right, just plot your points, but that should be, hopefully, there should be enough there to get you most of your marks. Remember, it is mock paper, so it is a little bit harder. This, you'd have some easier parts on your actual leaving cert question, but it is good to know that.